Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we break down the financial secrets of big companies with a simple twist. Today we are looking at HealthLynked Corp, and let me tell you their latest filing has some interesting moves that are worth decoding, especially a recent deal involving their top boss. First up, a quick summary hook. HealthLynked Corp just filed a report showing a big move made by their CEO. They essentially swapped some old debts for a new loan that can turn into stock. We will unpack what this means for the company and its shareholders. And before we dive deep into the numbers, if you appreciate getting straight insights from these corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we chat more about these filings. Go check it out after this video. So the report we are looking at is dated the 2nd of February 2026. This is what is known as a Form 8. Which is basically a report for significant events that shareholders need to know about quickly. The main story here is under item 3.02. This section talks about when a company sells stock or other securities that are not registered with the main financial regulators. On the 2nd of February 2026, HealthLynked Corp issued and sold what is called a senior secured convertible promissory note. Think of this as a fancy loan document. The amount of this loan is substantial, over $5.7 million. This loan was given to a trust called the Mary S. Dent Gifting Trust. Now here is where it gets really interesting. This trust is controlled by Dr. Michael Dent, the CEO and chairman of HealthLynked Corp himself. So essentially the company took out a large loan from a trust linked directly to its top executive. What makes this loan even more significant is that it is secured. That means the company put up all of its assets as collateral for this loan. If they cannot pay it back, the trust has a first claim on everything the company owns. So why did they issue this new loan? It was not for new cash being injected directly. Instead, it was to settle a bunch of existing debts. This includes over $4.3 million in old promissory notes, plus more than $737,000 in interest. It also covers around $340,000 in advances made to the company, and even unpaid compensation owed to Dr. Dent himself from way back in 2017, totaling about $300,000. So they are basically consolidating and formalizing these existing obligations into a new secured loan. This new loan is due in 3 years on the 2nd of February 2029. It carries an interest rate of 12% per year, but there is a kicker. If the company defaults on this loan, meaning they fail to meet its terms, the interest rate jumps to a much higher 18%. That is a significant penalty, signaling the seriousness of the agreement. And here is the convertible part. The person or trust who holds this loan, the purchaser, has the option to convert this entire loan or just part of it into shares of HealthLynked Corp. Common stock, they can do this before the loan is due at a price of $4.25 per share. This means if the stock price goes above $4.25, the purchaser could potentially convert their loan into stock and make a profit. The company says they issued this loan under an exemption from registration requirements. This usually means the loan was made to an accredited investor, someone considered financially sophisticated who meets certain income or net worth thresholds. This is a common practice for private financings, avoiding the lengthy and costly process of registering securities with the regulators for public offerings. The document states that this description is just a summary, and the actual full terms are laid out in separate agreements which are filed as exhibits to this report. Exhibit 10.1 is the actual senior secured convertible promissory note itself, and Exhibit 10.2 is the security agreement detailing the collateral. These are the legally binding documents that spell out everything. Finally, the report is signed off by Jeremy Daniel, the Chief Financial Officer, dated the 6th of February 2026. Now let us put on our analyst hats and think about what this means. HealthLynked Corp is essentially restructuring its debt by taking on a new large loan from its CEO's trust. On one hand, this consolidates existing obligations and provides a clear repayment schedule. The fact that it is secured by all company assets shows a strong commitment and perhaps a need to reassure the lender. However, there are a few points to consider that might raise eyebrows. The biggest one is the insider aspect. While not inherently illegal, it always invites scrutiny when a company takes on significant financial obligations from its own leadership or related parties. It requires a high degree of transparency and a clear demonstration that the terms are fair to all shareholders. The convertible nature of the note is another key element. If HealthLynked Corp stock price rises above $4.25 per share, the CEO's trust could convert this debt into equity. This would dilute the ownership stake of existing shareholders. This conversion could also signal confidence from the CEO, but it could also be a strategic move to acquire more company stock at a favorable price. The interest rate jump to 18% upon default is also a stark reminder of the risks involved for the company. The company claims reliance on the exemption from registration for this private placement. This is standard procedure, but it means the securities, including any potential shares issued upon conversion, have not undergone the full public registration process. This means investors need to do their homework on the company itself, rather than relying on the full disclosure, typically provided in a public offering. Overall, this filing shows a company actively managing its financial structure. The move essentially converts past obligations into a formal debt instrument with potential equity upside for the lender. For investors, it highlights the intertwining of the company's financial health with its leadership. The key will be HealthLynked Corp. Performance and its ability to generate enough value for Dr. Dent's trust to be repaid or for the stock price to justify conversion, all while operating with all assets as collateral. So what is my take? HealthLynked Corp is navigating some complex financial waters. They are cleaning up old debts and bringing them into a new structure, but by doing so, they are creating a significant financial obligation tied directly to their CEO. This could be a strategic move to stabilize finances, or it could be a sign of underlying financial pressures. The company's future performance will dictate whether this deal proves to be a win or a cause for concern for all shareholders. Right, that is our breakdown of HealthLynked Corp's latest filing. What do you think about this insider loan and what it signals for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps the channel, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And seriously, consider checking out our Discord community linked in the description. We have some great discussions going on there. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next Decode.